Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the TradeStation Masterclass. My name is Jesus Nava. I'm the Director of Education here at TradeStation, and it's always a pleasure to be here doing these sessions. Today, we're going to talk about multi-data, multi-time frame analysis in studies and also strategies. This has been the topic of the masterclass for the past couple of days. And yesterday, we spent some time programming a strategy and working on some strategy signals that looked at multiple data or multiple symbols. Today, we're going to follow on that same topic, and we'll do something custom and see if we can work together on some very interesting ideas. Before I jump over into the topic of today's presentation, let's go through some of the disclosures. Keep in mind that every symbol and idea that I talk about is for educational purposes only. It is not a recommendation of TradeStation. Also, active trading is not suitable for everyone. It should only be done with risk capital, and past historical performance is no guarantee of future results. For additional information on these disclosures, go to our website, www.tradestation.com, and you'll find all the disclosure information there. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We have a few people here in class. As I said at the very beginning of the presentation today, it's a follow-up on the same topic that we started yesterday, which is building studies and strategies that utilize not only multiple symbols, but also multiple time frames. So we're going to take a look at a couple of examples that do that. Let's go here through the PowerPoint presentation. I think I have this PowerPoint available for you. No, didn't think of having the link ready, but this is some elements, some information that you may find useful in programming multi-data studies or multi-data strategies, and things that you should always remember when you're doing that. Let me see if I have it here. Yep, multi-data chart studies. I think this is it. Strategy trading, technical analysis. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. All right, let me pull up my page on this side and share the link right here. I'm going to click on the link just to make sure that it is what I'm showing to you right here. And it is not. This is probably the one that we got yesterday. So do I have this one though? Maybe I didn't create a PDF out of this one. So let me go ahead and do that right now. Let me escape out of this file. I'm going to save as and save it as a PDF. All right, this is inside. I'll save it. Okay, and then I'll go here from the beginning again. I just want to make sure that you guys have this information as well. I think this will be it. Give me just a moment. Let's try this one. Okay, that's a different one. So, yep, this is the one that I wanted to share with everyone today. So thank you for your patience on this. Just wanted to create the right PDF and give everyone here in class the information that we're about to go through. The first slide on this PowerPoint, which you have as a PDF, gives you some information about multi-data analysis that we talked about yesterday a little bit, but it doesn't hurt to go through it and it'll serve as a refresher. Multi-data analysis allows you to add and reference additional symbols or intervals in a chart. We know that you can add up to 50 different unique data streams. You know, when I say unique, you know, we're talking about either the same symbol with a different time frame or a totally different symbol with a totally different time frame. So these requests, you can make up to 50 and put them all inside of a chart analysis window. One thing to keep in mind though, I'm not sure if yesterday or the day before yesterday, you noticed that as I was adding these multiple symbols inside of a chart, the chart automatically allowed some space for it, you know, like a subgraph. There's only a limit of 16 subgraphs that the chart analysis window can support. So you can split up that chart into 16 different horizontal subgraphs. After that, if you keep on adding symbols, you're going to realize that it doesn't add, additional horizontal dividers. It just keeps on dumping the symbols one on top of the other because it has no more space to put them. But the number of subgraphs is not going to limit the number of symbols that you can add. So you can still add 50 different symbols. You just have to be aware that there's only 16 different spaces where you can allocate them. So if you are going to go past that 16 symbol mark, one thing that I suggest is that you keep the symbols hidden. In fact, getting to 16 different subgraphs, it can be a little bit overwhelming and a little bit cluttered inside the chart. I've seen it before only on TradeStation users that have TradeStation displayed on a vertical monitor. Most monitors nowadays are on a horizontal view, so on a 16:9 ratio. So splitting the chart horizontally may be a little bit too much. But if you have a monitor that runs vertically, some people just turn it around and use TradeStation on a vertical mode, maybe you can have a chart that displays all 16 different subgraphs. Just some additional information that I'm thinking about, and you may come across, some of these limitations. Just be aware that there's only 16 different subgraphs, but you can have up to 50 elements added to the chart. Hopefully this makes sense. Data elements are referenced using the reserved word data n being a number like data 1, data 2. We talked about this yesterday. As you add multiple symbols to a chart, they are going to be assigned a number. And you can reference that symbol by using their data number. And one thing that is important, which I'm not sure if I shared with you yesterday, is that if you're going to be creating these multi-symbol charts, all the symbols must be time-based. So you will not be able to do a multi-data chart on a volume chart, for example, or a tick chart. It's not compatible, or the software does not allow that. You won't be able to do multi-symbol analysis if you're looking at price-based charting, like Renko or Kagi. So multi-data analysis is only possible if you're using time-based charting. And here at the bottom of this slide, we have a few examples on how to reference this multi-symbol setup. Value 1 equals the average of the close of 10 bars. Remember that yesterday we did say that if you don't have a data qualifier, data 1 is always assumed. So close means that it's the close of data 1. However, if you're going to reference the closing price of data 2 or data 3, you do have to tell the Easylanguage syntax that you're referencing that specific data number, data 2 or data 3. Whenever I'm doing, multi-data indicators or multi-data strategies, I always put in data 1, even if I don't need it, just to be consistent, So it's not necessary for you to qualify the data as data 1. It's assumed that it's data 1 if you don't use a qualifier. But in my case, I always put in data 1 so that it's clear to me that I have a multi-data setup on my screen. The second slide on the PDF that I shared with everyone here has an example on how you can use multiple data inside of Easylanguage. I think yesterday we looked at a strategy that was using moving averages, and we did control the calculation of those moving averages by specifying which data they were going to reference. I wanted you to take a look at the syntax on this PowerPoint because it's a little bit different. If you look right here at the very top, we are creating inputs that are storing the data stream. So close of data 1, it's inside of an input data series 1, and close of data 2 is inside of an input data series 2, which is an interesting way of assigning the data number or the data references, because now inside of my code, I don't have to say close of data 2 or close of data 3. I can just reference the name of the input that I used. So does that give you a little bit more clarity? It all depends on how you feel with your code. But I just found it interesting that this is a different way of referencing the data by organizing it differently. So you don't have to use the qualifiers all the time. Every time that you're referencing that specific piece of data, you can just use the input name, which is sometimes a little bit more readable, and it removes some of the clutter inside of the code. That would be always towards simplicity. Now, the code that you have right here, it's not going to verify the way it is. I'm not sure if you guys are able to tell why wouldn't this piece of code verify if I were just to copy and paste it into the development environment. In fact, would you guys be able to tell me why do you think this code would not verify? Because I was looking at it this morning, this is a piece of code that I didn't write, I found it in one of the, content that we supply our clients. And I said, well, this doesn't seem like it's going to verify. Can you tell what's wrong with this? I mean, it does have the proper punctuation. It does have an inputs declaration at the very top, and it does have a variable declaration on the second line. The issue that I found was right here. We have a spread diff A and a spread diff B. These two words, even though they're very similar to my variable, they're different. That letter A and that letter B, I think it was added so that you could have two different calculations, but that spread diff A and spread diff B is nowhere declared. So if you were to put this into code and try to verify it, as soon as it gets to this line 3 of code, it's going to say, well, spread diff A, I don't recognize that word. You didn't tell me that you were going to use that word spread diff A. I have spread diff, that I know what it is because you declared it as a variable, but not this one, A or B. So that's going to give you an error. I think that when this example was written, just as an example, is for you to have of course, the idea of having different calculations, so you can pretty much choose the calculation that you want. And it's not limited to only two. I mean, you can have any type of mathematical formula. Here, the top one is just a straight difference, data series 1 minus data series 2. And what it does, it just takes the close of the first symbol, subtract the close of the second symbol, and that's your result. The second one is not really a difference. So I don't really like the fact that it's labeled spread diff B, because this is more like a ratio instead of a difference. You take the close of data 1 and divide it by the close of data 2. That doesn't give you the difference, it gives you a ratio. So I would have probably called this, spread diff, as the variable says right here at the very top. And this second one I would have called, spread ratio or something to make it different. So that's just personal preferences. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's good that we are able to look at somebody else's code and find ways in which we can make it work for ourselves. And of course, plot 1 is just plotting the spread diff. This is also something that, would give us a 0 all the way across. You are assigning a calculation here, but they're being assigned to spread diff A and spread diff B. And what you're plotting here is spread diff, which is none of those two. Spread diff, based on the variable that was declared right here at the very top, starts at 0 and it's not reassigned. So it keeps that 0 value across the chart, and you would get just a flat line for spread diff. Okay, so let's work on an indicator type of study or study that keeps track of multiple symbols. We're gonna let's switch over here to TradeStation and set up our example and see if we can make it work. I don't think I have my TradeStation open. All right, let's go ahead and open up TradeStation. right, and I'm going to enter my password. Right. Give me something. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go to my position graph and pin it right here to the very top. I don't have any positions open. As you can see right here at the top of my trade station, I have no position graphs, but I am going to open up a few positions and create some sort of study that keeps track of performance on all those three symbols. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go here to the trade bar and I'm going to trade, let's see, TWTR is Twitter, trading at $40. Let me trade 1,000 shares of that. I'm going to buy it at market. And there we go. I get an audible confirmation. I have Twitter in place. I'm also going to trade Bank of America, trading at $47. I'm also going to trade 1,000 shares of that, and I'm going to buy that. And last, let's go to AT&T. AT&T is trading at $26. I'm going to trade 1,000 shares of that. Okay. I see your comment, Prasad. Yesterday it said 11:30 for Thursday. We only start Thursdays at 11:30 whenever we have John Brook in the Easylanguage session. So today was not the case. I mean, he's not with us today, so that's why we started at 12:30. And I think the only sessions that we have on the actual schedule, if you look at the channel dashboard, I think the only sessions we have there at 11:30 are Tuesdays and Fridays. So yeah, Thursdays, sometimes we do start at 11:30 Eastern time, but that's only when John Brook is in town. So next Thursday, yes, next Thursday, since John is going to join us, we're going to start our session at 11:30. All right, so we have our three symbols in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create some sort of a chart that keeps track of performance of these three symbols. Some sort of index of my portfolio. All right, let's go here to my apps, and I'm going to open up a chart analysis. Okay, I'm going to change the symbol to Twitter, TWTR. All right, let's set it to a 1 minute chart. All right, and that's Twitter. That's the first symbol that I bought. I'm going to add Bank of America. And I'm going to add AT&T. So we have the three symbols on the chart. So the idea here is to create some sort of an index or some sort of a measure that looks at the performance of these three symbols. You know, each one of them will have a different P&L based on its value and how much it's moved. For example, I can see right here that Bank of America, I have a profit of $15. On AT&T, it's $10. And on Twitter, I'm losing $30. So each one is going to be slightly different. But that, of course, also gives you a percentage move. If I hover over the position graph, you can see that I see an open P&L percentage. So for Twitter is down 0.05%. For AT&T is up 0, it's kind of flat. And then for Bank of America, I have a 0.08. But I want to see that combined across the board for all my different positions. And let's go ahead and create a study for that. Let me go here to my Easylanguage development environment. See if we can do this together. I'm going to create a new study, and this will be exclamation JN position percent change. Let's pluralize positions because that's going to include all my positions. All right, and my positions may be different symbols sometimes, so I'm not gonna use Twitter or Bank of America or AT&T in the name of variables. what I'm going to do is say position 1, position 2, and position 3, and I may increase, positions if I need to. And I'm using these as variables because I'm going to do a calculation of their percent change. I'm going to do position 1 and start that as numeric. Position 2, numeric. And position 3, numeric. Okay, I'm going to end that with a semicolon. So let's go ahead and assign the calculation for each one. Let's see. If I'm calculating percent change, I have to have some sort of a starting point, right? The starting point can be entry price. It can be, the opening price of a particular candle. If I have positions in place, I think the best way would be for me to look at entry price. Now, entry price is something that I can use, but on strategies. I don't think, maybe indicator does have some information. I think if I go in here and I go to, let's see, I think I did a class on information that indicator can plot. And strategy positions. Let's go here to strategy positions. And no, not strategy positions. Strategy properties. Let's see. Let me just see if I get it. Let's see. This is I. Average of applied strategies, open entries, market position. That's only if you have a strategy in place. That doesn't, yeah, that's only for strategies. Let's go here to, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to reference any order information using an indicator unless I go into object oriented. That would be the way for you to access order and position information, because we have some objects that do that. They go into your account and they find information of your orders and positions, but not the way that I would want it to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it manually. All right. Pose 1 price, and there's going to be an input. Pos 1 price. And pos 2. Position 2, and I'm going to do pos 3 price. That way I can hard code that performance measure. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it off with the days open. So pos 1 price, even though I can come back and edit it, I can say that the price that I'm going to reference is open D of the current session. Okay, let's see. Pos 2 price, it's going to be the open D, open for the day of the current session. These functions that I'm using, open D, you can use open, high, low, or close for the day, for the week, for the month by changing the letter at the very end of this function. Open D just references the opening price of the day, of the current day, and let's go ahead and do pos 3 price, open D. All right. One thing that I forgot to do though is to reference open D. This will be data 1. Let me remove the dictionary here from the side. This will be data 2, and this will be for data 3. All right, so what I want to do is I want to take that opening price. I can go back and edit it, and I'm going to minus close data 1. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here, close data 2. And on the third one, there's going to be close data 3. And I'm going to take this difference and I'm going to have to divide it by the original price, which is this one. This one. That way you can get what is the percent change. I take this whole expression. I don't have to take the whole expression. I just have to divide it. Let me do it this way. Okay, so now I'm going to plot. At this point, I'm going to create another variable that's my positions percent change. This is for the whole account. That's a big variable. Let me go ahead and copy that. And I'm going to put it right here in my variable declaration statement. And what this will do is we'll add position 1 plus position 2 plus position 3. Yeah. Let me go ahead and take this whole expression. I was going to do that at the very beginning, but I didn't. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to take this whole expression and multiply it by 100, so that is already in percentage format. So I'm going to do asterisk 100. All right. Perfect. And then it's just going to add those together. And what I'm going to plot is positions percent change. And my label will be percent change. All right, let me see what this looks like on the chart. Let me verify this. I'm getting an error because I'm missing a comma here. Verify again. This word, oh, I did. Let's, what I did is I added position percent change to my input declaration instead of my variable declaration. That's why it's highlighting it and saying, I don't understand this. I don't understand what you're saying. So this piece of this thing right here needs to go up here in the variable declaration statement. Sometimes, you know, you're going to see studies that start with the inputs and then go into variables. Doesn't matter which one is done first, you know, as long as you understand the order in which they're declared. So now let's verify. Okay, that works. Can you please have something from today's open? Well, this is open D. It's looking at the opening of the day. So yeah, correct. Perfect. Let's go here to TradeStation and put that indicator on and see what it looks like. We may have to do some tweaking around. In fact, let's do some styling before we put it on the chart. Let me go here to properties. The scaling, I do want it on its own axis. This does not go on top of any bar, but I do want the chart style to be a histogram. Let's make it a thick histogram so that we can have something to look at. The color, it's red. Let's go ahead and take a look. Let me verify. Let me go back here to TradeStation and put it on. So studies, add studies. This will be exclamation JN. Positions percent change, right? This one right here. All right. Okay. Now it is interesting that historically, this indicator will look at the opening of the day and then put them all together. Let's see what's going on here. From the opening of the day, we have some percentage change. I would have expected, let's go here to the very beginning of the chart. So from the very beginning of the chart, which is down here, the problem with this is that, on this bar, which is the very first session of the day, of course, it's not going to reset because I haven't made the code to reset at the beginning of the day. So it's kind of a rolling calculation. On this bar, even though we have a new opening price, it is still making calculations based on, that should be the opening of the day. Maybe I need some right here, it turned negative. Let me make some print statements. I think that'll help me debug this. Usually when something doesn't look right, I like to do some print statements just to make sure that it's consistent across the board. So I'm going to print, and I'm going to print this right here. Open D, data 1. I'm going to do open D, data 2. And I'm going to do open D, data 3. And see what happens, because those values should be consistent bar by bar. And I'm going to do a time here. Let's print time. Okay. All right. Let's verify this. I'm going to go back here to my TradeStation, and I'm going to view Easylanguage print log. All right. So let me put my glasses on because the print log is small, but you can see that, well, this is printing every single tick, so that's why. So let's do this. What we'll do is we'll go here to the code, format the indicator, and on the general tab, let's not update on every tick. So let's clear this and reload. So that's going to print. So now notice that we have the 1302 bar is the bar that's building right now, or the one that built just a moment ago. And you can see the prices here. 39.50, 47.98, 26.71. They don't change. Those are the opening price of the day. Let's go ahead and make sure. Opening for Twitter, 39.50. You see it right here. It matches my print. The opening price of Bank of America, 47.98. It matches. And then for AT&T, the opening is 26.71. It matches. So on every single bar, we have the exact opening price. So from that point on, though, on the very first bar, we see the opening price. So it's opening minus the close. That's what's happening. But this is a down bar, and this is an up bar. Not by much though, but we still have a positive. What throws me off right here is that I'm getting positive % change when at the beginning of the day, the prices were clearly, on at least 2 of my positions were lower. Not sure if you guys see what I'm seeing, but it's just throwing me off a little bit. Maybe the calculation is right. What I'm doing here is the code I'm adding position 1, position 2, position 3. So we have position 1 minus the close of data 1 minus position 1 price times 100. We can also try to print these variables. No, not those in particular. What I want to print is, this is printing. I would have to do some more like I would have to understand this code a little bit more to see what's going on. But I think you guys get the idea on how we can use multiple data streams to make this happen. Let me do something, because the whole idea of doing this was to change the price. So I can go here to the actual, let me go to the trade manager. So apps, trade manager, and go to my positions tab. So I have the average price for each one of the symbols. Something that I can do is go back here. Let me open up my trade manager. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my positions and I'm going to change that to my entry price, which is, if you're looking at performance, that's pretty much what you want to know. You want to know how you're performing based on the price that you entered at. That's the pretty much what the point of reference you want to use. So I'm going to come over here to my code or to my indicator, and in my inputs, instead of using the opening of the day for my position 1, which I know it is Twitter, I'm going to use $40.20. For my position 2, which is Bank of America, I'm going to use $47.93. And for my position 3, which is AT&T, I got in at $26.28. Let me click OK. All right, so that gives us a percentage here. Now let's look at the chart historically. Still gives us a percentage change. And this is giving us a minus 0.19. So this is down 0.12. This is up 0.6. And this is up 0.18. So something's wrong here, definitely. The math is wrong. So the way that I wrote the code is probably not the right way of doing it. Of course, this is, I changed the calculation here to not use real time. Let's change it back. So let's go back here to my trade station, double click on my study, because that's negative 19 as of the last bar. Let's update tick by tick. Okay, now we are in a positive number, so that we're maybe onto something here. So we're at a positive 0.07. So we take our negative 27 and we add 0.04. Yeah, that seems to be correct. If I look at the percentages here, let's look at the percentages here. So what we're doing here with this indicator is we're adding these percentages. So minus 32 plus 5 plus 16 gives you a positive 9. We're taking those percentages and adding them here. And now it makes sense, right? I mean, they're all in alignment. If you add them together, that's how much your positions are making at the moment, a positive 0.06. So for a moment, I thought the math was wrong, but it's actually correct. And you can see how it works historically as well. All right. Excellent. Let's go here to my PowerPoint again, because I want to show you this next example. In addition to using, different symbols, you can also use the same symbol on multiple time frames. So let's take a look at an example doing that. Maybe we're looking at a chart analysis. Let me remove the print log here and undock these bars. I'm going to go here to a chart analysis. All right, this is Twitter on a 5-minute, doesn't matter. Let's go here and add a study. I'm going to add a moving average 1 line. Okay, and I'm going to add a second symbol, which is Twitter as well. But Twitter, this other Twitter, is going to be a 10-minute chart. And then I'm going to add Twitter a third time, the WTR, on a 15-minute. Uh-oh, what happened there? Let me go to data, edit symbol. Of course, data 3 has an error. This is Twitter. All right. And this Twitter at the very end is going to have 15 minutes. Okay, so let me add another moving average, but that's going to go on data number 2. And a third moving average. That's going to go on data number 3. So three different time frames, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and 15 minutes. Of course, you know, the smaller the time frame, the faster the calculation of the study, especially on a moving average. You're going to see that the crossovers are going to happen faster on the 5 minute than they do on the 10 minute or the 15 minute. But if you're waiting for confirmation across multiple time frames, then this would be a perfect way of aligning your studies so that they are all in agreement. This is all on Twitter, different time frames, and we can use it in an alert way. So let's go here to my code. Let's open up a new study. This will be !JN multi-time frame confirmation. Let's say 5 minute, 10 minute, and 15 minute. And this will be average of the close. Let's do 9 bars, which is the default, data 1. And we just copy that and use the same formula for everything, just to make sure that we use data 2 and data 3 here. All right, my variables are going to be 5 minute, 10 minute, and 15 minute. All right, 15 minute. This is not the way to do it. All right, there you go. Verify. 5 MIN, unknown identifier, min. Oh, maybe because variables cannot start with a number. Is that what it is? Maybe? Yeah, it seems like it is because my variable here matches this right here. Let me see if I turn that 5 into the word 5. No, it's not case sensitive, so it should not have a problem. So yes, it's because I probably cannot have these variables started with a number. But notice that I'm just switching the actual numbers with the word number. Am I spelling 15 correctly? I think I am. 15, yes, I think that's fine. As long as it matches, it shouldn't be a problem. All right, this is, I have 2 equal signs here. Perfect, so now everything verifies. We now know that we cannot start a variable name with a numeric digit. I guess I could have done, you know, min 5, min 10. It would have been easier than having to spell out, you know, the actual number, and visually it has a different impact than having to read a number like this. But it's fine. Just make sure that it doesn't start with a numeric digit, that you have the numeric digits at the very end. So what I'm trying to do here is maybe not so much plot anything. I just want to be alerted if not on the crossover, because if you look at the crossovers here on this particular chart, you're going to notice that the crossovers happen on different candles. And it's going to be tough to align the crossover on the exact same axis or at the exact same time. They're going to happen at different times. But if we're able to create some sort of an alert in radar screen, we can probably do something interesting. Let's go here to the code, and we're going to say something to the effect of if. I'm going to have to type all this. If, let's see. Let me just think about how we can do this. We want to, I'm not going to use the crossover because that's just a very specific event, but I can say, well, let me do condition 1 or 5 min cross. Close is greater than 5 min. So 10 min cross, close is greater than 10 min. Of course, I have to do data 1 here, data 2, and for the 15, close data 3 greater than 15 min. And this is the cross. So those also have to be declared as variables. Otherwise, I will get an error. Just copying and pasting just makes it easier. I'm just going to copy this. And I'll copy the comma 2 and verify. All right, we need a semicolon here. I'm going to change that to a comma. Numeric expression, where is it getting stuck? Okay, greater than, greater than, greater than. Close that at 2, let's verify. So that's because I declare them as numeric variables and they're true or false conditions. So let me make them true instead of 0. Whenever you have a comparison like that, you know, like close of data 1 greater than 5 minutes, that doesn't return a number. It returns an actual true or false statement. So if the variable does not match the type of the actual result, then you're getting an error. So let me verify that again. Now it verifies nicely. Okay. So if 5 min cross and 10 min cross and 15 min cross, then alert. Very simple alert, you know. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Let me verify this. Of course, I misspelled 15. We can use this in some sort of a radar screen. So let me go here to TradeStation, go on to radar screen. Of course, we can make the indicator a little bit more fancy, like make it plot a different value or a text or something. Let's go ahead and do something here quick to see. I'm going to choose the S&P 500. And I'm going to add the indicator that I just created, which is exclamation JN. What did we call it? Multi time frame confirmation. I'm going to add it. Oh, stupid me. I was going to add something to radar screen that definitely does not work in radar screen. Why? Because I said this all the time, and I'm not sure what happened right now. I just went blank. Radar screen does not support this type of syntax. The syntax here is designed for charting because it's referencing data 1, data 2, data 3, which is a construct that radar screen doesn't recognize. But we can do a plot statement, plotting, the combination of all three. How will we do this? Because in charting, yeah, we can have an alert that's generated whenever the three are in alignment, but that's a little bit tough. I should have put a little bit more thought into this before I started the indicator, right? But the idea still holds true. Having the ability for you to reference multiple time frames and only generate an alert if the three are true, I think that's valuable. Okay, let's take a look at the last example here in the PowerPoint, which is pretty much the one that we used yesterday. This is the strategy. If you were not here in my strategy class yesterday, we go through the programming of this study that references how you can take a look at different symbols. And when you have a crossover, then it generates an order based on multiple symbols. I think yesterday we did spider and the index. We were looking at the moving averages and making sure that they're both in alignment. We can do, and this is an example, just writes the syntax here and you have it in your PDF as well. I wish we had more time for us to take a look at this study that we started. I think it's an interesting idea. I would have liked to take it further and maybe use it in a more practical way, but the whole idea here is for you to know how to build these concepts or these constructs or this syntax in Easylanguage and start customizing your own studies. So please, I encourage everyone to practice and modify your studies. Anything you can think of, start writing them. And again, if you have difficulties, we have a whole forum of support that provides assistance if you get stuck with Easylanguage. And also we have the benefit of John Brook is with us every other Thursday, so he can clarify a lot of the concepts that are not very clear to us, okay? So yes, thank you so much for your time. A show me, that's a great idea, Carl. Carl is just suggesting here to use a show me. That would be great because now instead of me trying or struggling to have some sort of a plot, what I can do is create this into a show me so that if the conditions are true, then I just mark the bar when the conditions are true. Very true. Great suggestion, Carl. We can just copy this code and paste it into a show me and try to modify it that way, right? Guys, I ran out of time. Thank you so much for joining me in this masterclass. Remember that tomorrow we're going to have Ask the Experts at 11:30, and we're going to have a platform session at 12:30. We're going to go over the option station search capabilities. Last time we did that class, we found some issues. I want to do the class again and see if we find similar issues or if we should get somebody to take a look at the functionality. But tomorrow, that's what we're going to highlight in the masterclass session. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful afternoon, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.